Okay, here we go. So, feels nice. All right. Feet are on the ground. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our basic roll up. And you've probably seen roll ups before. And you've seen the half bridge where you squeeze your butt, but what we're gonna do is slow it way, 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 way down. And we are going to actually find the very tippy of our tailbone, and we're even gonna go as far up our cervical head until we can kind of do like a Mayurasana. So we're just starting natural, just roll out your neck a little bit. Your legs, your arms can be like this, but I'm kind of doing this because I want you to be able to see, okay? So actually you should probably be like this with your arms, all right? Okay, so I am first gonna ignite my breathing. And what proper breathing looks like is that when you inhale, your belly goes out on the inhale, like a big pregnant woman. And it falls in on the exhale. I want you to breathe out through your mouth. And I want you to put a lot of force into your exhale. Because truthfully, you can exhale a lot more air than you think you can. And that exhalation should actually create such a strong force that you're going to start feeling your muscles, especially these down here, start working to pull that air in and out. Okay, so So you might notice that your pelvis wants to tilt up. I don't know if you can see that. Tilt up to support the muscles as they squeeze the air out. You might also notice your sternum wanting to reach up or reach down to squeeze that. That's great. As long as the stomach's going in and not out on the exhale, okay? And the feeling will really be like a pulling in to the center and up. So it's going to be coming up and in. You'll be feeling it also in your perineum. So I created a stomach vacuum there. So I exhaled so much air that I was actually able to pull everything in and up. And this is now what we're going to do, okay? I wonder if a different angle would be good. When you inhale, I want you to really pay attention. Right here is your pelvis, right? The bottom of your pelvic floor. And this is your hip bone, that pointy iliac crest. I want you to pay attention to the muscle group between these two, okay? From iliac to pubic bone, there's a beautiful band of muscle. It's your first pelvic floor muscle. And when you fully exhale, this band becomes hard like a rock. This hard like a rock pelvic band, it kind of connects like this. You don't have to exhale to connect to it. I mean, I can do it right now, but that takes some time. So we use the breathing to help us to connect to it. You know, also if you're constipated, it's going to be really hard to connect to these things. So when you want to learn this, you want to get more and more aware of making sure that your nutrition is proper and you're really evacuating your bowels fully. So I can really feel the squeezing way down in my perineum. So step one, you can pause the video a little bit and give yourself that practice. I've got to roll out my neck. And just get really comfortable with that breathing. And try to find this pelvic floor band. There's another one that comes up here. And you'll feel that too, but it's less difficult to feel. And you'll start to feel the relationship of the whole spine. So that's just the beginning. Okay, so now the cricket chirped or the lizard chirp, that means the beginning. That's true. This is just the beginning. You're going to start by rolling up your spine. And in the very first part of tilting that pelvis, you want to feel every single vertebra, one at a time. This is such a meditation, connecting to the mat below you. This is not a muscle workout. We're not focusing on our glutes or anything. We're just one by one connecting to our vertebra, rolling all the way up. My neck will start tucking its chin naturally. I'm up by my shoulders now. I won't be able to feel my cervical spine on the mat, but I will be able to get very close. Now I'm going to very, 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 very slowly come down. Connect to your sternum and the relationship of the front of your chest as you roll down. As you exhale, feel the pulling in. You have to really pull up to tilt down to get in this lumbar curve to find the vertebra to the mat. It's a very slow process. Really check in here when you come into the deepest part of your lumbar curve that you're staying slow enough. Okay, I'm coming into the tailbone. Not stopped. I want to go all the way as far as I can comfortably to the very, very, very tip. My head is dragging. I need my arms a little bit to help me. There, that's about what I can do. I'm close enough to the tip of my tailbone. And now I'm going to roll it back down. Very, very slow. I'm doing the same I started with, but this time I started way down at my tailbone. And you want to do this 3, 4, 5 times. Super, super slow. You might find the body going up and down. It doesn't matter if your body has to push itself up and down on the mat. What's important is that you're really using these muscles to push that lumbar back, using the pelvis to pull up, and that you're not skipping a single vertebra. This is all about the spine, the skeleton. Yes, some muscles will be working, but that's not really the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is to release tension from an improper hold of your spine. And you're watching the relationship of your whole spine working together. You feel this elongation in your cervix. I love this part where my chin tucks deeply into my sternum. This is one of the nicest exercises in the entire world. Anyone who's had injuries will find relief. I love coming down because I really have to pull in to find how to connect that lumbar flat to the floor. A lot of workout videos will tell you to stay in this position now while you do your abdominal crunches. No way, Jose. I mean, you can, but I see in these schools that I'm studying with that it's a recipe for disaster because it's all about vanity, this sculpting. What we want is strength. What we want is no injury, no pain. And that means we need to equally strengthen the body all over so that the whole body as a unit supports itself, which is the way it was designed, especially a woman's body. Here I come on my upswing. I always get a nice pop here because this is where my injury is, where my hips meet my tailbone, my sacrum. And I always get a nice little adjustment there. Letting my body be pulled. Oh, I got further this time. God, I could just do this all day long. All right, someone's trying to call me. This is your natural lumbar. When your upper thoracic is at the same pressure point as your sacrum. Upper thoracic, same pressure and weight as your sacrum. This is your natural curve. Hello! See my little hand under there? I have a deep curve, so I have African bloodlines. We tend to have a deeper lumbar curve, but look at that. Now a lot of people are gonna go, ow, spasm. That's because now it's critical that you really pay attention right here. Before you move it now, this is next exercise. Take one leg at a time. Exhale, engage, feel it. And one at a time, straighten this leg. Re-engage with the lumbar curve still there. Lift the leg up. Other leg. Re-engage right here. Lift the leg up. Very slowly. This is a very simple exercise, but you should really be feeling that right here is what's working, and that as you lift the leg up, you're going to feel the pushing down on your sacrum onto the floor. And you're going to feel the counterbalance of your sternum holding you in balance. Now, people who've had back problems will say, I can never do this. But if you get stronger and stronger by doing these little tiny micro movements, some people's backs are so bad this is all they can do. This is how I started when I pulled out my back. Bulging discs. This is all I could do. But the point was to make sure that this is engaged. This is engaged. These iliac crests are working with this sternum. So the way this lower rib cage is positioned, this holding, there is this perfectly balanced square. And maybe some of your yoga teachers have taught you this, but you're going to find that these are at a perfect level. They're holding all your internal organs in a perfect box. And I can focus more and more and more on these lower abdominals, and I can extend both my legs down, and I'm really pulling. I've got a beautiful balance happening, and soon I get stronger and stronger. Now, the reason why your typical workout people don't like this is because it's so effortless. That actually you're really working the subtle bands of your abdomen, your back, your ribcage. Everything is sharing the load. Nothing is isolating. And that's why a lot of people in workout world don't like this, because they don't get that like crunch look on their abs. But I'm telling you, girls, don't go there. You're gonna hurt yourself. Or like Max, he got a hernia. So you can start going super subtle with this. And you can feel, as you do these little rotations, you can really feel the connection, right? You just do what you can. You don't push it. The most important thing is that you get the awareness of how this whole connected balancing act between your thoracic, your sacrum, your lumbar, the box of your inner, and this beautiful lumbar curve. From here we can start, doing our bicycles. Now what's not happening is this, bicycles, sticking it out. We're completely pulling in. We're pulling from this pelvic floor core. Okay? So practice that with very subtle movements. And I'll tell you, this has nothing to do with fat. This has everything to do with strength and adaptability and mobility and the ability to have a healthy, functional spine well into your old age and repairing old injuries. And you want an equal strength distribution between your abdominals and your back. You don't want one stronger than the other. That's how we throw things out. And the other thing that's really important to remember is that all the movements of the body come to this center point in the pelvic floor. And especially with a woman's body, she's got so much going on here, right? And these hips are rotated quite far out like this. And we really need a strong container. And every move we do is coming from this. Even in men, this is basically how the body was designed. So the important part is just to have a proper relationship, knowing what is the proper foundation of movement and strength and where it's coming from. In time, you'll see this becoming more toned and beautiful. I mean, I've had a baby. I was very abused when I was pregnant. I have a very strong scar tissue in my belly and an abdomen. I'm also super kapha. I have tons of fat. My body makes fat just looking at a piece of sugar. So you can't look at my body and say, oh, but I want a sculpted body. You look at belly dancers, right? Look at Hawaiian women. They have these beautiful, I mean, I even do have it. You see these lines here, right? This is actually the proper indication of strength. So, you know, this is what we want. You're always going to have, this is it. You're not going to have, you know, some women will have six packs because their bodies are just shaped like that and they'll just like make less fat, and that's great. But if that's your focus, you might wind up being injured. Okay, I love you. Bye.